Okay, I think we're live here. So yesterday I was doing this thing where I was trying to use nested functions, inner functions in C to to try and express control flow more nicely with better handling of memory and all of that. And realized I couldn't do it the way I was trying to do it. What I was trying to do yesterday is have a context call, much like this, but one that returned a context. So this is a context. It's got a head and it's got a get and it's got a post and it probably have a put and a delete. And the so you call these to do a head or a get or a post. Okay, and then you that does the curl mechanics and then calls this response fn, which is a status code. So it's all control flow being stacked up at the start. So this is just a little private implementation function as part of this. And you can see, sorry, I've still got this terrible cold. And you can see that here's the implementation of my make context now. Instead of returning one, I'm taking a caller. So then you call the caller with a context, and then the caller could do those things. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this test. I've got some crazy indentation thing there. It's a bit frustrating. Anyway, so we're going to have an HTTP call. It's going to take an HTTP context, right? And we'll just call that HTTP. And then we're going to call, so it would be something like result equals make context. And you can see that we've got this slice buffer for which is the memory that it needs for things like response headers. I hope you all appreciate this. Here I am suffering through trying to show you some new and exciting ways to do things in C. Well, they're not necessarily new, but now I think nested functions we've ignored for a long time, except very specific contexts, because of the stack issue, and now because of the trampoline implementation equals heap. They're back in the running, and again, as I was saying yesterday, they're not just back in the running, but closures are coming. I'm pretty sure. So we're going to call make context, and we're going to call that, and we'll call it with that. And we'll just printf the result. Okay, so let's compile this with accomplish. Okay, so that's okay. Just looking for compile errors right now. Obviously, it won't do anything. We'd need a return value. Okay, so then we'll need an actual post handler though, because we're going to go http.post, okay, with some URL. Probably we won't send anything. I've only got a post implementation right now in the context thing, so I mean you can see excuse me, you can see up here that that's the case. Make that a bit prettier. I've only got this post implementation, so this is supposed to be invisible to the user. Okay, so we're going to call post, and I guess so post handler, post response handler, right? Which means that we need a response FN. So a response FN is this, and again we've got this JSON T. So we don't need the pointer thing. But, so we'll just call it post handler. Okay, so this post handler, what I wanted to do is get the next non-slice and the location, and these are actually what I really want to do. And I want them I might even want them in the fully out of scope. I mean, the thing about this is that in this call you could chain together a number of different things. So I could have, like, in postres equals, and then in next res equals http.get URL blah blah blah, and that could be based on the slice or something like that. Anyway, so one of the things about this is that we'll have to we'll have to decref this body, because otherwise that'd be a problem. And again, in UC, we'd be able to go like this. And that would be kind of cool, right? Defer is definitely coming. There are patches for GCC. I haven't managed to pull those yet. But it's definitely coming. Okay, so maybe we grab the status too. So we're going to go HTTP status equals status code, and we've taken our decref out. We want to keep the decref, but it would be better as a defer. Obviously you're going to want to do something with the body, right? I'm not sure whether this would be better as a union type. You've got a header here, which is the content type, so you don't even need a tagged union. You could just have a union because the tag is here. But obviously, if it was really a JSON T, so I think that's what's attractive about all of this. It's like, and I've been thinking about this quite a lot. You can wrap up a bunch of implementation specific stuff. So curl is an extremely powerful library, very adaptable. You don't want that power most of the time. You want it available to you. That's why we all use curl, and because of its just sheer quality. You know, it's been tested goodness knows, like they can't. Maybe Chrome's internal HTTP client has been more thoroughly tested than curl. Curl is pretty well tested, right? Because it's on every Unix and Windows machine, pretty substantially tested. So, but we don't need its power, its expressive power most of the time. So we want to wrap that up. So we make a bunch of defaults, and it feels to me like we need a library system or a module system that allows us to make these things. They're sort of more throwaway than curl is not a throwaway thing, right? I think it's quite difficult to make throwaway things in C, and maybe it should be a bit easier. Anyway, so oh, excuse me. So I guess what I actually want is if the status code then we're gonna return -1, aren't we? Because I'm looking for a post here. I'm not posting to a place that is going to get a post, but you know I will do when I've got this working. I think what I'm suggesting is that I'm going to go away and make a thing that is based on curl, Jansen, which is the JSON library I'm using, and slice buffer, and you know that's like a bunch of decisions that anyone else might not want to make. Like, oh really? I don't want this with Jansen. I want to use this JSON library, or I'm not even using JSON. I'm getting DOM objects, and that is pretty interesting. I feel like I'm groping towards that kind of ability to be able to say, oh yeah, what slice buffers? What are they? I mean, it's useful. It's a useful abstraction if that's the abstraction you want, maybe. And it comes with some costs, doesn't it? It comes with some decisions that maybe you don't want to make or that don't fit in with the rest of your project. So, yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, let's carry on. So what we'll want to go over this is yet another inner function to iterate over the slice table. So we're going to go slice table iterate. And we're going to go and headers, and we'll have an iterator. And we like iterators take a void pointer, and we don't need one of those. Let's call this what it is. So this takes a slice name and a slice value and a void p. How about we say this? Unused. And then we can say if slice const string name is replay nonce. Oh, sorry, you also need. Why isn't this telling me? I don't know why Linux is not telling me about that. Equals naught. But what I found is that I've got to implement a new slice thing with caseless matching. Because sometimes it's that. So next, nonce slice equals value. And we can return as soon as we've matched. Right, then we're going to do the location one. And you can see we will definitely need like a caseless match, because obviously it could be in many other cases, couldn't it? Hey ho. But I think this is pretty simple. So then we have location. I don't think we don't need to call it next nonce slice. We just call it next nonce. And then we'll have location as value, and we'll return. And that's my iterator. Header find. So now here's my post handler. When I've got a response, this is going to be called. So it's not going to do anything with the body, which is not true. I do want to do stuff with the body, but mostly actually the location I do want in here. The next nonce I will need for another call. So the idea is that you call, I can't remember if I've still got the, I don't think I have. Sorry, I've closed the tab with my picture in it that I had, and I can never remember the name of the blooming drawing app. I'm going to have to make my own drawing app because I can't remember the name of the drawing app I use. Have I got dementia? Who knows? So, anyway, we should probably be compiling, shouldn't we? Right. So this URL, I've got a handy URL here, 14,000 dir. There we go. Okay, so it's just like in callbacks in JavaScript, it does introduce further problems. One of the things would be if we could express callbacks as literals. So let me show you what I mean. Header find maybe not, but certainly post handler, I think it would be interesting. Okay, so maybe we could do this. So you can't do this in current thing. I'm not sure how you express it with thing, but you get what I mean? Like, that would work. I don't think that's so bad. The indentation probably isn't good. It would be better if this was indent code rigidly, let's say, what, 15? Like, you know, probably needs to be underneath, doesn't it? It's interesting because it might change the way we do indentation. Having function literals, which is closures are function literals. You can do a function literal in C specification function closures proposal. So here we are. Here's the spec. This is a great spec. Actually, I will try and put it in the thing. So here we go. Slope makes 7. Yep, there you go. So he's got this thing of being able to capture by value, or so you can specify the values that you're capturing. And then lambdas. So that's what we're talking about, function literals. So here we go. These are the captures then. So I think they're being declared auto. So there you go. It's pretty cool, right? Anyway, we can't do that yet. Let's just back all of that out. There we go. So we're back to our inner function. So this header find is pretty simple, and so I'm just going to collapse that. I'm going to call this OK. Okay, so we've got an HTTP call, which is being passed to context, and then we're going http.post with this URL, and obviously we'd be sending some body, and we've got this post handler, which is going to be called afterwards. So this post handler is mainly filtering the status, so we're not going to be doing a header find because we won't get a 201. So if we don't get a 201, it's just going to return -1. So we're expecting -1, I think. It's basically what I'm saying. Okay, so we're expecting -1. let's compile it and let's run it. And we got -1. So I think I'll end there. Because I think you can see now what I'm saying and why it might work. It might be valuable, but I think it's mostly valuable, as I was trying to say in the stream, it's mostly valuable as a way of throwing together some other libraries which aren't, maybe they're more configurable and all that, but you don't need all of that stuff. You just want an opinionated interface for a small period of time, and maybe closures give you that, or in this case, heap allocated nested functions. Um, so yeah, I think I'm going to stop there. Uh, I've done. I've given you the example. I think I'm going to try and carry on doing these sorts of little streams um, about the new C-spec. I'll try and get a defer implementation going so that we can have a look at defer. And as soon as somebody does implement closures, I guess I'll start having a look at that. But exciting times in the C world. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you do,